Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with the most important question on Reddit. Am I the bunghole? Let's dive in and see what the question is today. Am I the bunghole for being brutally honest with my friend before her wedding? I'll hold all my comments until the end. My best friend for the last 10 years is getting married in a few weeks. This past weekend was her bachelorette party. She got quite wasted, but I don't drink a lot, so I played it safer and stayed pretty coherent. At one point, she was in the bathroom vomiting and crying and looking through pictures of her ex on Instagram. All the other girls were comforting her and talking about what a piece of mess he is, and the next hour turned into fixation on her ex, how they should have been the ones married. Her ex recently had a baby with his new wife, so I understand it may have opened old wounds, but they split up 5 years ago. I'm also one of the few people who actually know why they split up, and all I can say it was definitely her fault. After the hour, I tried to get us all out of the bathroom and continue the night. The next morning, things seemed fine, but then my friend was going through her phone and saw she had called her ex 10 plus times. She freaked out, but the calls were all so short, we assumed he didn't pick up. I told her she needed to delete his number from her phone and move on because it wasn't fair to the guy she is marrying if she continues to be hung up on her ex. Everyone got real upset with me for being insensitive, and I was made to feel like it was my fault for letting her call him. Eventually, my friend asked me to go home early, and I learned from one of the other bridesmaids that they spent the rest of the morning bashing me in addition to the ex. I was told a part of a bachelorette party is getting closure with old relationships, and my judgmental attitude ruined it for the bride-to-be. I talked to my sister about it, and she said while my friend was being ridiculous, that it's my job to put aside my feelings for the bride as maid of honor. We are all in our 30s, and this seems very odd to me. Am I the bunghole? Okay, let's talk. So, here's something that's revolutionary. This is a revolutionary concept. I'm going to completely change the way you think about things. You should only marry the person that you think you should marry. I know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. If you don't think that you should be marrying the person that you're marrying, then you shouldn't be marrying them. If you think that your ex was better, even though your ex has moved on and now has a child, if you think that your ex was better than your current, then you shouldn't marry your current. Don't try to get back with the ex. Like, trying to get back with your ex is like trying to put poop back in the hole. It doesn't work. It's a bad idea. And everybody winds up messy. What you need to do is break off your relationship. I'm not a relationship, I can't tell you should break off your relationship. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is, what I would do if I was in this situation is break off this relationship. Before the wedding, don't leave him at the altar. That's a messy thing to do. What you need to do is have an adult conversation, and I'm speaking to the bride in this situation, is have an adult situation and go talk to them and be like, this isn't what I thought it was, and we should move on. And then do that. Make it as adult and clean and as free as possible. Be as honest and open as possible. But if you're hung up on your ex, then you should not be with your current. You owe the current person you are with the reality of who you are. And if who you are is someone that is hung up on someone else, you are not doing that. You are not being true and honest with your partner now. If you're hung up on somebody from 5 years ago or 10 years ago, you are not fulfilling your obligation to your partner. Whether or not there's a marriage involved, if you're just dating and it's been 3 months, like, I get it if it's been a couple of weeks and there's still some tension and whatever, but if you've been in a relationship for a couple of months, minimum, right, and you're still more concerned about the ex than the current, then the current is not doing it for you, and you need to break that off before it becomes more serious. Now, as far as what happened here in this specific instance, I don't see that as being a bunghole. This whole bachelorette party is getting closer with old relationships? What? Really? Is that what it is? Like for men, it's a wild night out to not to do anything untoward, but to skirt the very edge of untoward. Because it is your last night as a free man. And you should experience life, right? Because back in the day, nobody... What generally happens is a couple of people go to a strip club and they look at strippers for a little while, they get pissy drunk, they go home and they pass out. That's generally what happens at a strip club or at a bachelor party. But are y'all just getting drunk and calling exes? Is that what's happening? Like, really? I don't think so. I don't think that's part of the culture of that, right? I think that is a wild night out to skirt the very edge of things. But skirting the very edge of things is not calling your ex 10 times when you're vomiting drunk because you're right on the edge of dying. Like, here's the thing, okay? Here's one of my touch points is, if you were throwing up from drinking, it's because you have alcohol poisoning. It's because alcohol is an intoxicant, which means that you are intaking toxin, and it is changing your body chemistry. And it has overpowered your body to the point where the only defense your body has is to reject that poison. So you, as a person in that position, should not be making any decisions or calling anyone ever. Right? Now, obviously, we don't make the best decisions when we're drunk. So that kind of thing happens. That's a whole separate situation. Telling her to delete the number is not the bunghole in this situation. Your sister's saying that putting aside your feelings so that the bride could feel better about calling her ex 10 times the night before the wedding. No, that is a horribly toxic thing to do. Like, I'm trying to think of an analogy that would be good enough for it, but like what it is enough, right? So you're going to get married to this person that you're talking about committing your life to this person, and you've spent the whole night the night before trying to get in touch with another person. Like, it wasn't about the person that you're wanting to spend your life with. You don't want to spend your life with him. You are looking at this like, well, I can always get divorced. And in 5 years you will be, if that long. Because you're not committed to this relationship. The sister saying that it's your job to put aside the feelings is just, it's terrible. That's like saying, what you're actually doing in that position, right, is not putting aside your feelings for the bride. You're putting aside the bride's feelings to try to convince her to get into a marriage that she knows she doesn't want to be a part of. That's why she spent the last night trying to get in touch with her ex, getting drunk and whining about her ex. It's because she knows she doesn't need to be in this relationship. She knows she doesn't need to be in this. And what the sister says here is, you need to talk her, like, instead of telling her the truth, you need to lie to her so that she will get into this marriage that she doesn't want to be in. Like, that's literally what that's saying. I don't feel like you're the bunghole, and maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know in the comments down below. If I'm right, let me know in the comments down below. But hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. I almost said that backwards, because the bunghole in this situation is holding on to the relationship knowing that it's not right. Like, she knows, like, you know it's not right. If you're doing this type of behavior, you know it's not right. You're just doing it anyway because it's expected of you. And that's dumb. Don't ever do anything because it's expected of you. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me. I am praying for you every single day. Till next time, I love you. You are perfect, whole, and complete, just the way that you are. This has been Pittstake. Peace.